Hello, Davey here on day 3 of PAX Australia in Melbourne, and I am here with the wonderful Sam from Mad Carnival Games, and I've just played Sam's game, How Was Your Day? A point-and-click adventure where you are out to find Beans the dog. But I won't give you the full synopsis. Sam, tell us a little bit more about the game.
Kia ora. So how was your day? Think Groundhog Day meets Stranger Things with a cultural twist.
Nice.
And that's the premise of the game. So you follow 13-year-old Dia, who's recently moved to New Zealand from Fiji. She's not settling in. It's a bit of a culture shock. Her parents are distracted with financial worries, and her brother's got a new girlfriend, so he's been really annoying. But there is one light in her life, which is a stray dog she's found and named Beans. And one particularly bad day, she comes home and Beans is missing. And then she finds herself stuck in a mysterious time loop. And she kind of has to come out of her comfort zone and talk to people around her and her parents to figure out what's going on with Beans and the time loop.
Amazing. And I wanted to know what inspired the story, because I was drawn to it because of a lost dog, and I'm a dog person, and it's one of my biggest fears. But,
Yeah.
What is there any kind of real life experience behind that?
No, we didn't lose our dog, but the inspiration was actually came from my son. He's 11 now, but he was 9 at the time, and I was walking him home from school and had my usual question, how was your day? And he said, good, and we're very engaged, but for a split second I saw his teenage self, and I was like, gosh, it must feel like Groundhog Day for teenagers. They go through their day, their parents ask them, how's their day? And they say good, and it all happens all over again. And from a parent, we're genuinely interested in how their day was, how they're doing. We want to hear from them. And I think a lot of teens hold a lot of stuff in their head. And if they just communicated and shared some of that, I think problems could be halved. So the idea was, this repeated day, this Groundhog Day premise, this repeated day could offer some opportunity to kind of have conversations and dive deeper. And then what's the catalyst for you wanting to do that, And the lost dog came into it. And so what could be something that you'd feel like, I really want to get to the bottom of this, and it's, a dog, which I'm a dog lover as well. So that would be awful, awful to lose my dog. So, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of retrospective or introspection of your own teenage life, maybe.
Oh, totally. I mean, I moved from Fiji to New Zealand when I was 9.
Yeah.
And this was in the 80s. So the game's set in the 80s. And it was definitely it wasn't traumatic at the time. And even now I don't feel any trauma about it, but I kind of think back and go, gosh, it was a real culture shock, and our world is very different now, and our son doesn't have the same problems, but there's a lot of that goes into the character of, just a lot of the kind of uncomfortableness and embarrassment she feels being different to everyone. And so that kind of plays out. And so there's a big cultural element to the game. It's set the day before Diwali in 1988, and that plays into the game as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was I noticed there was some Diwali in there, and the main character's like, oh, I love Bollywood. There's the Bollywood calendar. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
And the point and click aspect of it. Why point and click?
I mean, I'm a child of, the 80s and the 90s, and point and click is my favorite genre. Probably really because I'm really useless at using controllers and get a little bit motion sick, but I just personally love narrative puzzle games and adventure, and just the ability to do something like that has been a dream. One of my favorite games of all time is Gabriel Knight and Monkey Island and, some of those. So I really love the idea of being able to create a narrative interactive story, but with puzzles in the mix as well. Yeah.
And there's a resurgence or a renaissance happening with especially in the indie scene. And one thing that really stood out to me as well is the artwork. Now, I'm assuming it's all like hand-drawn, hand-painted.
Yeah, so we've got an amazing artist, and our team's all New Zealand-based, and Laura's just done an amazing job. And there's a lot of serendipitous moments with the game, and she had reached out to me kind of a couple of years ago when I just got a tiny bit of funding for the game and thought, what's next? And saw her art, and it was exactly what I had in my mind. And so the rest is history, really. She started, doing some concept art, and I was like, this is it. This is the style. And we did I did early on consider Pixel, but I was like, I want to do something really different, and I wanted to showcase New Zealand. So I really wanted to share the beautiful vistas and landscape of Aotearoa. And I think, she just does a really great job of capturing that. And I just didn't think Pixel would do it justice.
Yeah. It really, it gives it a whole life and personality all of its own. So fantastic choice.
Yeah.
And you're here at PAX, you're here with Code, you've got this whole big New Zealand cohort. We've spoken to so many of you over the last couple of days. What kind of feedback have you been receiving from the Aussies?
Oh, amazing. I think we need a bigger booth and more space,
it's
really.
So crowded.
I know, right? So, the New Zealand games, and there's such a variety of them, they've all just got such amazing work, quite polished, and I think we just, really do punch above. And I feel like it's such a thing to say, but we kind of forget how small we are, but that kind of helps us be, I think it's, the word scrappy, we know, and I think the teams just do really well, and all the different art styles, we just have this amazing kind of vast amount of talent that's on show, which is great.
Yeah, we came to PAX last year. We met so many Kiwi devs, and we've kept in touch with them.
We're taking over.
Games and
great.
And the Burger Boys and all that kind of stuff. And everyone here this year is fantastic as well. So for your game, though, how was your day? What can we expect coming up in the future?
Yeah, so there's a demo out on Steam at the moment. So you can go and play. It's about 45 to 60 minutes. It'll give you a little bit of a taste of the game. You get to meet Beans, which you didn't get to do today. So you get to meet Beans and then you lose Beans. And we're looking at just developing it out further. I just decided a few weeks ago to add voiceover to the game, so
I was
really arming and ahhing about
choice.
it, but I'm just like, you know what? I was worried about the Kiwi accents potentially not, and it's not a worry.
Well, you're showcasing New Zealand, as you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So go all in. So I'm doing that, and we're looking to, as I said, the game set the day before Diwali. In 1988, and Diwali is one of those holidays that is different date every year. It's linked to the new moon. So, again, serendipitously, next year Diwali falls on the exact same date as it did in 1988.
Yeah.
So I'm using that, if I'm done in time, to use that as our platform to launch.
I love that. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll include all of the links. So make sure you wishlist it on Steam now. Sam, it was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you
luck
so
with the
much.
game.
Thanks so much, guys.
You're welcome.